that in 1993, in the summer of 93, I took 3 trips back in time that were facilitated by the guy I now know as the commander of the Primary Andromeda Council Biosphere. He's also responsible for the other 11 ones as well. But he basically came down on planet, met me in South Tucson, located near the San Javier Mission, like out in the desert. And there's a long story behind this, but essentially I took 3 trips with him. And the saucer, interestingly enough, the saucer on the outside looked like 35, maybe 37 feet in diameter. But when I walked inside, it looked like 125 to 150 feet.
That's the same thing Sherry Wild reported. I believe it was Sherry Wild in her book. That's wild. How does that happen? You know, it just goes to show that time and space are really an illusion in a way. You know, it's like things are not what we think. You know?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, he, I'm not sure if it was for a metaphor or if it was purposeful and or if there was something else that I went through, but he made me take this little like NyQuil blue-green pill before I took this trip. He's like, listen, you can't travel through time at the velocity and the frequency that we're going to travel with an organic Earth human body. So we've got to change your molecular structure from organic Earth human to a higher vibration. I went, okay. So he gives me this pill, a cup of water, I swallow the pill, we walk aboard ship. I probably passed through a device as well that vibrated my frequency higher. I remember leaving the planet. I barely remember hitting the blackness of space in his craft. And the only, if you will, feeling of movement that I have is when we left the planet's surface. I could feel us going and sort of taking off. But traveling through space, we get to space, he does this thing with his keyboard, his controls, and we basically jump. We go, bunk. We went from contemporary August of 1993 to, I want to call it May or June of the 1840s.
Oh, wow.
Over either Western Kentucky or West Virginia, something like that. And we, over the course of 3 trips, observed a family of 4. A mom, 26, 27 years old, a dad, 32 or 33 years old, and 2 kids. A son, about 9 or 10, little butch haircut, and a daughter, little blue curls, blonde hair, little curls, blue eyes, little cute little girl. To make a long story short, on the 3rd trip, I observed a barn fire, and the daughter was in the barn, and she passed away due to smoke inhalation. And this is a far longer story, but essentially I said to him, you know, out of all of the Earth experiences you could have shown me, this is tragic. It's not sad, but it's tragic. And I didn't know why, but I had felt monumentally that out of all the experiences an Earth human could have, one of the worst would be to have a parent lose his or her child. Even talking about it today, it's hard to talk about it and stay composed because it has such a visceral impact on me. And he said, you have been coming to this planet for a long, long time. You are of our people. You know us, we know you, we trust you. There are going to be some significant changes coming to your planet in the not too distant future. And in order for us to better help you as a global race of people, we had better understand how and why you respond, the ways that you do emotionally. I said, okay, that's valid, but why are we any different than you, was my question. And he said, because those of us who've been living higher dimensional lives, whether it's 4D or 5D, and keep in mind, he had earth human form. When I looked at him, I saw a man that was like 7'4", long, dark brown, almost black hair that was tied like a Native American, but tied back. Mm-hmm. And he said, because in these higher dimensional lives, we don't evolve. Let me say this. I said that wrong. He said, we don't die. We don't have organic bodies that die. We just simply choose to evolve. He said, right now, at that time, he was like at the high end of 4D. He said, in the near future, what you call future, I'll choose to become a 5D person. And when we do that, we don't die. We just make the choice to evolve. And it's just like walking from one room to the next, or walking from another room to the next. And so because we don't experience grief, we don't experience loss, we don't experience death, we can trust, because we know you and what you're experiencing, that you'll be at least somewhat of a good representation, because you're not only male, but you're sensitive male. You'll be a good representation of what happens when people experience death and what you go through emotionally, physiologically. All right. And there was another aspect that he mentioned that I can't remember right now, but it was a pretty profound experience.
So did you have a connection to those 4 people?
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
That was
just
the other
sure.
piece. Yeah, that was actually the other piece. He said, these people, and specifically the father, you carry in the physical body that you have in this lifetime, like I said, you carry the genetics of this man's family. So these are actually great relatives of yours. Mm. I'm not sure if it was, great grandparents or cousins or whatever, but we were definitely genetically connected. Wow. Yeah. So yes, that was the third aspect, which he happened to name first. But I tend to remember the stuff that's more important. And right. It was the aspect of, as higher dimensional people, they really want to have a grasp on who are we and how we tick and how we act when we experience things that have a profound impact on us. And that was the beginning of a lot of contact experience all throughout the 90s.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
So how do you see things, as we wrap it up here, how do you see things playing out here in the near future? Do you, what kind of information do you get as far as, just work on ourselves and really let the other, because I know there's been a move to like remove the, I guess the negative sort of service to self entities out of the way that.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to touch on with that, or?
Yeah, I do actually. And we talked about this a little bit, but I think more than anything else, at least at this moment in my life, I believe it's probably a worthwhile effort for anyone to take the time and invest the energy that he or she has to do the work necessary to heal from whatever childhood and teenage traumas that they've experienced emotionally. When you heal from those things, that also removes energetic blocks in this human, bioelectric organic body, because we produce electrical impulses. Mm-hmm. And so everything that I've come to learn indicates that negative charged energy from painful experiences can create blocks and cause illness in the human body. And many people start to look at all the physical stuff first. Well, I got this wrong, I got to fix this, I got to fix. It's the other way around. If you address those emotionally painful experiences and clear them out, I believe that each one of us can have a pretty amazing journey experiencing whatever is next and next and next in life as you come to learn who you really are as a unique individual with a unique set of a combination of passions and gifts and skills and things that you really enjoy doing better than other people, because there are no two Shanes exactly alike. Even if there's another Shane Robinson, he's going to be packaged differently than you are.
All right.
I went on the web one time. I'm like, oh, okay, Chris, holy crow, there's like 47 of my name. You know, what my earth. But you know, of course, fortunately, there's only one me, and I bring a unique package, gift, a set of gifts and skills that I'm putting to work. Hopefully, to the best of my ability, and that's, you know, that's all we can do, I think.
Yeah.
Is bring forth the best of us at any moment in time, and simultaneously be kind to others. You know, those, like, I know I've said this before, but those small acts of kindness go so far. They really, really do.
Yeah, they really do. And it's just the opposite too, you know, if somebody's like having a bad day, and not to take that energy and pass it on to someone else, because, you know, a lot of times we do that as well, and it's the opposite of what we should be doing. It's the opposite of this small act of kindness. You know, you get agitated, someone that cut you off, and then all of a sudden you're sort of quick with the tenon at the, you know,
or the horn.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And you know, likewise, you know, because I'm not married right now. You are. And so you'll have a visceral sense for this. I've been taught, and I've actually integrated into the totality of who I am, that when I'm in relationship with a woman, or even in a conversation with any guy, if things get to the point where I'm heated and I'm angry, I will shut up. And I will close my mouth purposely so that I don't, in the energy of the moment, release anger at somebody else. I don't feel it's appropriate to release anger at somebody else. Now, I'm not saying it's not appropriate to feel anger and release it. It is appropriate to feel anger and release it whenever we feel it, or even agitation, but preferably don't direct it specifically at the other person.
Yeah, definitely.
And that way you can respect that that person has a heart and a soul, whatever sensitivity that they have. And you can say, hey, I may not agree with you, but I can respect the position you're coming from. Yeah. And or just go, honey, I may not understand what you're trying to say to me right now, but let me go absorb it for a little while, and I'll come back. And, you know, I've been taught that that's a really good way to handle things.